Not every face hides a soul, though. Some just wear the mask.
Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt an unexplainable emptiness? That strange feeling that something important is missing. It's not just your imagination. Over a century ago, Edgar Cayce, America's most documented psychic, made a statement that shook the spiritual community. Not everyone walking among us has a soul. I know what you're thinking. How is that even possible? In today's video, I'm going to peel back the layers behind this controversial claim that might explain a lot of the chaos we see in the modern world. As you watch people around you acting without a shred of empathy or compassion, you might actually be witnessing exactly what Cayce described. Stick around until the end, where we'll summarize the key takeaways you won't want to miss. Edgar Cayce, affectionately known as the Sleeping Prophet, was an enigmatic and extraordinary figure who lived between the 19th and 20th centuries, born in 1877 on a simple farm in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. With limited formal education, Cayce had an ability that defied all logic and scientific understanding of his time. In a state of self-induced trance, similar to deep sleep or deep meditation, he could tap into an unlimited source of information he called the Akashic Records, or the universal mind. In these states, he offered incredibly accurate medical diagnoses and detailed prescriptions for curing complex diseases, often without any prior medical knowledge or even knowing the patient's name. Imagine a man who, with eyes closed, could describe the condition of someone's internal organs thousands of miles away and suggest effective treatments that conventional medicine at the time didn't even consider, like specific diets, herbal remedies, or even vertebrae adjustments. His readings, as they were called, were meticulously recorded by secretaries, forming a massive archive of over 14,000 documents still studied and referenced today by researchers, doctors, scientists, and spiritual enthusiasts around the world. These weren't just physical cures. Cayce also performed life readings that revealed surprising details about past lives, soul purposes, karmic tendencies, the law of cause and effect spanning many lifetimes, and individual spiritual paths. He did not see himself as a guru, medium, or savior, but only as a humble channel, an instrument for a higher wisdom that, according to him, was available to anyone seeking a deep connection with the divine. Cayce dedicated his life to helping people, not for fame or fortune, but out of a deep sense of service and unwavering conviction in his mission. He would help anyone who approached him, regardless of social or financial status. Edgar Cayce's legacy, preserved by the Association for Research and Enlightenment, ARE, a nonprofit in Virginia Beach, USA, continues to inspire millions to explore the potential of mind, body, and spirit. Cayce's story shows us that human potential to transcend physical limits and access universal knowledge is immense, and that reality is far broader than our everyday perception allows. It's an invitation to look beyond the obvious, question what we accept as reality, and recognize that there's a higher intelligence, a cosmic consciousness, operating throughout the universe. And if you've been intrigued to explore more mysteries like this and deepen your understanding of the capabilities of mind and spirit, now's the perfect time to subscribe to the channel and hit notifications. That way, you won't miss any of our upcoming investigations, which promise to keep expanding your perception and understanding of the universe. For Edgar Cayce, the soul wasn't an abstract idea or just a fleeting divine spark that disappears after the body dies. He saw it as the very essence of the individual being, an energy and consciousness field that exists independently of the physical body and linear time. The soul, from his point of view, is the immortal core of our identity, the part of us that persists and evolves through multiple cycles of life and death, carrying all its experiences, lessons, and tendencies. It's our real self, the part that connects directly to the divine source, to universal consciousness, and that constantly seeks harmony and a return to its origin. Cayce believed the soul is eternal and always evolving. He often described it as a particle of divinity, a spark of the Creator, venturing into the material world to experience, learn, and grow. Every experience lived in the physical realm serves as a chance for this spiritual entity to learn and improve. Think of the soul like a mighty river flowing through various landscapes over millennia, each representing an incarnation. The river, at its core, remains the same. The water has the same chemical makeup, but it changes, deepens, gains new features, carries sediment from its banks and memories of every curve, obstacle, and new current it encounters. This metaphor invites us to consider that we're much more than the sum of our current experiences, carrying with us the baggage of a vast past and, at the same time, a promising and constantly unfolding future, even if it's hidden from our physical eyes. He emphasized that the soul is the repository of all our memories, latent talents, lessons learned, unresolved karmic challenges, and even impressions from past choices. It's our true identity, the aspect of us that pulses with life, seeks truth, and constantly longs to return to its divine origin, to a state of unity and wholeness. For Cayce, the soul gives us the ability to love unconditionally, to genuinely forgive, to create, to transcend the limits of matter, and to seek a higher purpose in life. It's the divine spark in each of us, driving our search for meaning, connection, and full manifestation of our potential. Cayce's view of the soul also included its multiple dimensions and subtle bodies. He spoke of a soul body, or etheric body, that acts as a vibrational bridge between the physical body and the soul's higher essence, or spirit. This soul body would be responsible for transmitting information between the physical and spiritual realms, influencing our health, emotions, and thoughts in ways that conventional science is still trying to understand. This understanding of the soul isn't just an ethereal or philosophical concept. It extends to a tangible reality that constantly interacts with our material experience, affecting our choices and reactions. Grasping this definition of the soul according to Cayce lets us see our own lives in a new, expansive light, recognizing every moment, relationship, and challenge as a precious opportunity for the soul to express itself, evolve, and move closer to its divine fullness. It's a perspective that invites us to appreciate the sacredness of life and the interconnectedness of everything that exists. The idea of reincarnation was not just a belief for Edgar Cayce. It was a fundamental pillar deeply tied to his understanding of the soul's existence and the purpose of each life. For him, reincarnation wasn't punishment imposed by a vengeful deity, nor a pointless cycle of endless repetition, but a continuous, loving opportunity for learning, growth, and spiritual evolution. It's a cosmic educational process where the soul has multiple chances to learn the lessons it needs to grow, balance karma, and move closer to its original perfection. Think of it like a student who hasn't fully mastered a subject one year, but gets to repeat it the next, not as a punishment, but to deepen understanding, overcome difficulties, and eventually internalize the lesson fully. Cayce explained that past life experiences deeply shape our current personality, present challenges, natural affinities, and even innate talents in this life. For example, if you feel an unexplainable, overwhelming connection to certain historical periods like ancient Rome or the Old West, cultures like Egyptian or Indian, or even with people you just met but feel like you've known forever with a been here before vibe, Cayce's reincarnation theory offers an intriguing perspective that can explain those feelings and intuitions. He believed that repetitive patterns in our lives, whether persistent financial struggles, love relationships playing out the same rocky script, irrational and unexplained fears like claustrophobia with no apparent trauma, or even certain chronic illnesses without clear medical causes, could be reflections of unlearned lessons from previous lifetimes or karmic debts, actions or omissions creating imbalances that need to be harmonized and resolved in this life. Similarly, innate talents, like musical or artistic gifts, early intellectual skills, and natural affinities for certain fields or professions, can be abilities developed and refined over multiple lives, brought as gifts and tools for this incarnation. The implications of this belief are vast and deeply transformative. If reincarnation is real, it means life doesn't end with the death of the physical body. The soul continues its journey, carrying the learnings, experiences, and tendencies of past lives like a backpack of wisdom and challenges. This invites us to take much greater responsibility for our actions, choices, and thoughts every day. Because what we do now, how we treat others and ourselves, can ripple not only in this life, but in future incarnations too. Cayce taught that the main purpose of each life is to progress spiritually, seeking karmic balance, developing virtues like unconditional love, compassion, patience, and forgiveness, and expressing our inherent divine potential. He often spoke about the importance of serving others and manifesting pure love as essential paths to the soul's evolution, as such actions help harmonize negative energies, dissolve karma, and transcend repetitive cycles, leading the soul to a state of greater freedom and enlightenment. Understanding reincarnation, according to Cayce, gives us a broader view of time and existence, showing that each life is just a chapter, an act in a much bigger story, and that each of us is on a continuous journey back to the divine source we came from. This perspective can bring profound peace, purpose, and resilience by realizing we're not alone on this evolutionary path, and that every challenge holds a deeper meaning for our growth. In this part of our journey, we're going to explore the fascinating and paradoxical relationship between the soul and individuality through Edgar Cayce's eyes. For him, the soul is the unshakable foundation of our unique identity, the core of who we really are, with all our quirks, tendencies, gifts, challenges, and deepest desires. Cayce believed that while all souls share the same origin from the divine source, they are all particles of the Creator. Each soul has its own life story, its specific purpose, and its individual evolutionary path, shaped by experiences across many lifetimes. It's like every soul is a unique, shimmering facet of a gigantic diamond. Each facet shines with its own light, reflections, and colors, making the whole diamond more beautiful. Yet all are inherently connected to the same precious stone, sharing the same fundamental essence. This brings us to a deep philosophical and spiritual question that Cayce addressed clearly. Do all living beings have a soul? For him, the answer was a loud and clear yes, extending to all sentient life. The soul's presence gives us consciousness, the ability to feel complex emotions, to love unconditionally, to create, to grow, to distinguish right from wrong, and to seek a higher purpose in life. It's the soul that lets us experience life in many dimensions, go beyond physical limits, and seek connection with the divine in everything. The soul is the spark of life animating every being, from the simplest form to the most complex, the driving force behind all growth and development. But Cayce's view goes way beyond isolated individuality. He stressed that even though every soul is unique in its expression and journey, all souls are deeply and inseparably interconnected, forming a vast web of consciousness. It's like each of us is a drop of water in a vast cosmic ocean. We're distinct as drops, with our own journeys and makeup, but we're part of the same body of water, influencing and being influenced with every move and current. This interconnection means that a soul's actions, thoughts, emotions, and vibrations ripple out and affect others, creating a complex, invisible network of influence across the universe. A genuine act of kindness, for example, can spark a wave of positivity that spreads far beyond who did it, touching lives in ways we can't even imagine, like a domino effect of well-being. On the flip side, acts of hate, prejudice, or negligence can generate disharmony and suffering that cascade and affect the collective. Cayce often talked about the Akashic records, a kind of cosmic library or universal energy field where all experiences, thoughts, emotions, actions, and information of every soul, since the beginning of time, are recorded. He said this info can be accessed through altered states of consciousness or by individuals who can tune into that dimension. This idea reinforces that we're all part of a bigger whole, an interconnected collective consciousness, and that feeling separate from others is mostly an illusion created by the ego-driven mind, limited by material experience. What does this mean about our connection to others and the universe? It means our relationship with each other, nature, and our environment isn't just social, physical or biological, but fundamentally and inextricably spiritual. Every interaction, meeting, and shared moment is a chance for the soul to show itself, to express unconditional love, to practice compassion, and to recognize divinity and unity in others and all of creation. Understanding this interconnection invites us to live with more empathy, compassion, responsibility, and ecological awareness, because our individual actions affect the collective, weaving the vast, complex tapestry of existence. By recognizing the soul in every being, we recognize an extension of ourselves and therefore an extension of the divine source that lives in everything and everyone. This is one of the most powerful and freeing truths Edgar Cayce left us. We are unique and indivisible individuals, but intrinsically and eternally connected to everything in the universe. We've reached the end of our deep and thought-provoking exploration of Edgar Cayce's ideas, which touch on the mysteries of the soul, reincarnation, and our interconnected individuality. This topic surely invites some real self-reflection on who we are, why we exist, and our place in the vast cosmos. Cayce, through his one-of-a-kind readings and a life devoted to service, showed us that spirituality isn't a distant concept reserved for a few or an abstract belief with no impact on everyday life. Instead, it's a vibrant, ongoing, organic, and deeply personal journey for each one of us. A path we walk with every choice, every relationship, and every lesson we learn. His visions offer not just a map, but an internal compass to navigate the complex mysteries of life, death, and what lies beyond the veil of our common perception. He kindly and persistently reminds us that we are essentially spiritual beings having a human experience, and that our growth, evolution, and ability to express love and compassion are key to unlocking our true divine potential and living the fullness of our soul. Think about how the world around you seems to gain new colors, sounds, and meanings, becoming more vibrant and connected, when you start to see things from a broader perspective. When you realize every challenge is a carefully arranged lesson for your growth, every joy is a gift to cherish, and every encounter is a learning opportunity. Daily life, even amid its routine and rush, is filled with signs, synchronicities, and messages from the universe, if we're open and ready to notice. That strange feeling you get before making an important decision and often turns out right. A vivid, recurring dream that seems to hold hidden personal meaning, the coincidence of meeting the right person or finding just the information you need exactly when you need it. Or even an unexpected meeting with someone who seems to have the perfect answer to one of your deepest questions. According to Cayce, all of this could be your own soul, spiritual guides, or the spirit world trying to communicate and guide you. He taught us to pay attention to these subtle signs, to trust our intuition, which he saw as the voice of the soul, and to seek knowledge and wisdom, not only in books or from gurus, but mostly inside ourselves, in the quiet of our own awareness. Edgar Cayce's final message is one of limitless hope and personal responsibility. Hope, because the soul is immortal, and there's always a new chance to learn, grow, love, and evolve, no matter how hard the journey has been so far. Responsibility, because our choices, attitudes, and the way we vibrate shape not just our present and future, but also the experiences of souls connected to ours in this vast web of existence. He invites us to live with purpose, to seek self-knowledge continuously, to practice forgiveness toward ourselves and others, and to love unconditionally. It's through love that we truly reconnect with the source of all existence and let our soul shine in its fullness. If this video somehow touched your heart, sparked a new flame of curiosity in your soul, or simply made you pause and think about something you hadn't considered so deeply before, please consider leaving a like. It's a sign for us. It helps us know we're on the right path, creating content that really matters to you and supports your growth. And more importantly, share your own thoughts, questions, and experiences in the comments below. We strongly believe that exchanging ideas, sharing stories, and open dialogue are key to everyone's spiritual growth, creating a community where every voice counts. We want to hear from you. What are your strongest thoughts about Edgar Cayce's view on the soul and reincarnation? Have you ever had a personal experience that made you question your own existence or the deep connection between the material and spiritual worlds? Maybe a premonitory dream that came true, a strong intuition that was inexplicably confirmed, a reunion with someone who felt destined, or a powerful déjà vu that made you think about past lives. Your perspective and experiences are priceless pieces in this big puzzle of life, and your participation is crucial for us to keep this rich conversation going about the mysteries of existence and our connection to the invisible. Let's discuss and deepen our understanding together.